In this unit, we will focus on interacting with workflows from both the end user and administrator perspectives. We will start with task processing using My Inbox. My Inbox can be configured as a tile in the Fiori Launchpad and offers a responsive UI for access across different devices. Workflow participants can use My Inbox to view and complete tasks. Multiple options to sort, group, and filter tasks are available. Task UIs can be designed to be displayed directly in My Inbox view or be opened in a separate window. Optionally, a workflow log can be displayed. Let's take a look at the live system. My Inbox tile is available in the Fiori Launchpad. Already here in the overview, you can see the number of open tasks which are available for you. If I click on the tile and open the inbox, you can see a split screen layout with a list of all open tasks to the left side, and on the right side, the individual UIs for the respective tasks. If you take a closer look here, you see each task has the information of the task title, the information of who started the workflow this task is a part of, the priority, for example, medium, low, or different. And if a task has a due date, it is also displayed here. If the due date is already in the past, like for those tasks down here, then an overdue marker is shown. Also, as you can see, priority high is shown differently colored. There are several options to navigate through the available tasks efficiently. One would be to use the search field at the very top to narrow down the list of available tasks to those which contain the search term entered. If I click on X, the filter will be cleared again, and I will see all 18 tasks again. On the bottom of the screen, I have several options to do different arrangements of the task. The easiest one is just changing the sort ordering. The default is to have the newest task on the top, but you can also change it to the title, which would be in alphabetical ordering, the priority, or for example, when it would be due. Another option is to filter the tasks based on several attributes of a task, which could also be the priority, and you can select which priorities you want to see, or whether it's a due date set, a specific status, or the type of the task. If you go here, the list of available types will match the tasks you actually have available in your inbox at the current moment in time. So this list will depend on the actual tasks you have. Let's say I only want to see reporting information tasks. Then the list will be filtered. And if I now want to see everything again, I can open the filter menu and click on Reset, which will remove the filtering. Similarly, you can group all tasks based on certain attributes. For example, the task type. And now we will see all of the tasks for the respective types grouped in several sub-areas here. Again, to remove the grouping, open the menu and click Reset. On the right-hand side, I will see the UI for the respective task I have selected. You see here on the top, I also see the information for the priority, the due date in red because it's overdue, and the respective fields specific for this specific type of task. Here you see this task only allows me to add a comment, and I cannot make any other changes to the UI. And then I will be asked to either approve or reject it, which buttons are depending on the task type as well. If, for example, I would go to a different task, this one is a custom UI5-based UI. It contains a list of data which was entered in the previous step and also contains input fields which I have to fill in to complete this task. In this case, the task only offers one button, which would be submit. There are several other buttons which are always available for all tasks, and this would be the show log button. Here you can see what already happened in the specific workflow where this task is part of. And in this case, I have started the workflow and then the task has been created. In other cases, there might already be more tasks which have been completed before. Those would be listed here as well. You can also see here is a little marker which says resolved by you. This is because I can mark a task that I want to work on it. If multiple people would get the task, for example, in a call center setting, then I could choose a task. Let's take this one. And then I have the claim button. And if I click on claim, as you can see, resolved by you appears. And it will be not shown anymore in the inbox of all other users. And you can work on the task if you need more time for research or contacting a customer. If you want to not complete the task, but give it back in the pool, then you can also click on release. Finally, if enabled for the specific task, you have the option to forward it, to specify a different user which was not in the original list of recipients, but you want them to actually work on the task. And then you could forward it. Another option to forward tasks to other persons is to specify a substitution. If I go in the menu bar and select Manage My Substitutes, under Planned Substitutions, I can add a new substitute, give the user ID from the system, and also specify a time frame for when the substitution should be available. For example, if I would be on vacation, then during this time frame, all of my tasks will automatically also appear in the inbox of Thomas, and he can work on them. The second option is to prepare for unplanned absences. And in this case, I can add a new substitute. But here I will not give a time frame, and those tasks will not immediately show up in his inbox. But in the case I'm falling ill or I'm not available, he now has the option to take over my tasks if necessary. How this would look like? Let's assume user Dennis has created such a rule for myself. Then I could go to substitute 4. And I would see that Dennis has created such an unplanned substitution rule for me. And I can activate it. And now I would be receiving all of the tasks of Dennis in my inbox as well until I disable it again.
Monitor Workflows enables administrators to manage workflows on a technical level. It is available as a tile in the Fiori Launchpad. Using Monitor Workflows, administrators can gain an overview of both deployed workflow definitions and workflow instances. Instances can be started, monitored, suspended, and terminated as required. Instances which had run into an error can be inspected and resumed. Using the filter and search, specific instances can be found quickly. It is also possible to show already completed instances as long as they have not been deleted. Let's take a look at the live system.
To ensure the smooth running of the workflows, administrators can access the Monitor Workflow app from the Fiori Launchpad. 2 tiles are available, one for listing and starting deployed workflow definitions, and the other for managing running workflow instances. We'll start with the workflow definitions. All available workflow definitions are listed on the left side by their given name. The right side shows the details for the selected workflow definitions. its technical identifier, and the version. Each time a workflow is deployed, the version will be incremented automatically. At the bottom of the screen, additional actions are available. Starting from the right, you can download your deployed workflow definition in its native JSON format. SAP support might ask you for that file for troubleshooting. The usual way for workflows to be initiated is by either a user interface, which provides options like input validation, value help, and a structured layout, or by a call from another connected system. During development and for testing purposes, workflows can also be directly started from monitor workflows. An input field allows to enter the JSON data for the initial workflow context. As the structure is highly depending on the respective workflow definition, the workflow developer can configure an example context in the expected format as default value. This, of course, can be modified before starting the instance. If you want to start more than one instance, you can use the Start New Instance button, and if you are happy with just one, just click on Start New Instance and close. Finally, Show Instances switches over to the Monitor Workflows Instances view. The list on the left shows an overview over workflow instances with information about their name, technical identifier, the initiating user, and the current status. Using the filter options, instances from specific workflow definitions can be selected. Since we have opened this view coming from the workflow definition details, a matching filter has already been applied. This is the quickest option to focus on specific workflows, for example, during development. If I remove the selection, all workflow definitions will be shown again. Another filter criterion is the instance status. By default, all non-final instances are shown. That is, those running, suspended, or in error state. Additionally, workflows which have completed normally or have been cancelled can be shown as well. Selecting Reset will remove all filters and show all instances that are available. On the right, the details of the selected workflow instance are shown. Besides the header information, as also shown in the list view, more technical details are shown under workflow information. Among others, the clickable workflow definition ID leading back to the definitions view, the definition version this instance is using, and the business key used for correlating of the intermediate message event, and the instance ID, which can be used for calling APIs. In the section Workflow Context, you can see the current live state for this instance. No history is kept. Investigating the context is the best way to figure out what caused unexpected behavior, especially during development. Please note that for data protection, an additional permission is required to view the context. The execution log shows the run for this workflow instance so far, with the most current event at the top. You can see who started the workflow, the different activities which have been started and completed, together with a timestamp and additional details, like the destination name for service tasks or some details about user tasks. More details for user tasks can be shown with Show Tasks. This will list all existing, open and completed tasks for this workflow instance. Apart from the technical IDs, the recipient list can be seen as well as the currently assigned processor, if any. A task is assigned if a user claims it or by the administrator explicitly assigning it to them. Especially during development, assigning a task to yourself for further testing without needing to change the business logic is very helpful. When workflows are modeled using reference workflows, like the process variants are using implicitly, the field parent instance ID is filled for all subflows. If you look at the execution log for this parent instance, you can see that this instance so far has only contained the call for the referenced subflow. Just like tasks, all subflows for this workflow instance can be shown with the Show Subflow Instance button. Sometimes workflows run into errors. The most common cause are modeling errors during development, for example, a mismatch of expected and actual fields in the context. But also in productive use, those errors might occur, for example, when a remote system could not be reached or returns an error. Depending on the situation, an administrator can try to remedy the situation and retry the call or terminate the workflow. You can see the error message here at the top and also in the execution log. In this example, a remote system was wrongly configured, and after taking corrective action, a retry can be used. Let's refresh the system and verify that now the call to the external system was completed successfully. If a recovery is not possible, the administrator might choose to terminate the workflow instance. After a confirmation pop-up, this will set the state to cancelled, as well as all called subflows and active tasks are cancelled as well. Lastly, administrators have the option to temporarily suspend a workflow instance. In this case, the workflow will be paused and all associated tasks hidden. The next options are either to resume or to terminate it.